Welcome to Deadline Horror News for the week of September 2nd, 2021. I'm Josh, and of course, I'm joined here with Professor Smoke.
Hey.
Usually Donnie and or Will, well, rarely Will, but usually they're here, but they couldn't join us this week, so we're just going to power on through here. And, of course, we are from the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast. As always, we remind you to like and subscribe to the channel down below. Click on the little bell down there to be notified when we upload new videos. Like I said, these come out every Thursday, and hopefully we have some other stuff that pops up here and there, like, random episodes and other things. So you want to hit that bell to be notified, when things go up on the channel so you don't miss anything. We want you to become a supporter of the Spook Show by going over to patreon.com/AASpookShow to sign up, become a patron. We have levels starting at $1, $3, $5 on up to $1,000, like Spook Show Insanity level, which, you just need to go check it out to be, to believe. It needs to be seen to be believed. But the main attraction over there is every Tuesday, our popular segment, The Library of the Professor, comes out, where Professor Smoke himself takes a curated selection from his personal collection, his vast library back behind him there, and talks about it and gives his rating. So that is up every Tuesday on Patreon. So be sure to join us over there for that. I want to remind you that episode 71 of the podcast just came out this past Monday, and it's our latest movie review of Another Wolf Cop from 2017, and that wraps up the Summer of the Wolf. That is it for that. So bittersweet, but we can move on to other things and kind of get ready for the main event here coming up in October. We had a lot of cool stuff lined up for you, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Check out the podcast every Monday to so you won't miss any of the stuff we got planned.
We got a Fall of the Lycanthrope coming up. No, we don't.
Yeah, that would be a little redundant if we just followed it up with another. Lord knows there's enough werewolf movies to keep doing it, but we're going to move on to other things. Episode 72 is our next Spook Show Spotlight episode. That comes out next Monday, September 6th at 6 p.m. East, and that will be the top Labor Day horror releases, where we're going to talk about basically what the biggest releases on Labor Day weekend throughout the years, like as far as like gross and opening weekends and everything like that. Just some of the biggest horror releases on that particular weekend. So we talk about that. And if you're a patron at least the $5 level, you've probably already listened to it because you get it early over there. We don't necessarily promise how early you'll get it, but you'll get it at least a day or so early, maybe even earlier than that. I mean, this week we were able to go ahead and release it. It's out there right now. So if you become a patron at least that $5 level, you can listen to the shows early. And speaking of which, we want to give a shout out to our newest patron over on Patreon, Simfaloon. He is at IMSimGenX over on Twitter. That's IMSEMGENX over on Twitter. And we just want to give him a shout out and appreciate his patronage there on Patreon. So now it's time for the latest deadlines and horror news. So usually this is where Donnie has gone through and found some stuff, but since he's not here, I'll fill his shoes. I found a few interesting things. Freeform, the channel Freeform, every year they do their 30 Nights of Halloween, where they show various, like, mostly it's like family friendly type horror movies, right? Like some of them aren't really necessarily horror. It's just kind of like, well, here's some examples, like The Addams Family from 1991, Hocus Pocus, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Fright Night from 2011, Ghostbusters, Aliens, The Craft. I mean, there's tons of them. So there is some pure horror in there, but for the most part, it's like family friendly. And I'm sure even like the, showing Alien or Fright Night or something, they've probably edited, a lot of that out. So, you ever check out any of that stuff over on Freeform, Smoke?
I haven't been over there yet on Freeform. Need to.
It used to be like, it seems like it used to be called something else. I'm blanking, like Disney, ABC Family, Disney Family. I don't know. It seems like they've changed the name of that network a few times. So I think it used to be like the Family Channel or something back in the day. It's had a ton of different names, but they always do that little, marathon throughout the month of October. So at least there's always something on. And like I said, most of it's like Disney, since Disney owns Freeform. So it's mostly like the Disney Halloween stuff and, some more mild horror type stuff. But still, it's more family friendly and everybody can get in on the fun over there. So that's always pretty cool. And speaking of Ghostbusters, the new one, Ghostbusters Afterlife, they just announced that they're pushing it back a week. thankfully it's not pushing it forward or, like another year or something like that.
Yeah.
But because it was supposed to come out in 2020, right? I think this was like a summer movie last year.
Yeah.
That got pushed into this year, and then it's been moved various times. I don't even have the whole history of that, but it's been pushed up a week from November 11th of this year to November 19th, because apparently that date was just vacated by the new Top Gun Maverick. They bailed out. I'm not sure where they moved that one to, but they bailed out of that date. So, okay, they moved Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible 7, and Jackass Forever to 2022. So they've pushed them into next year. So Ghostbusters Afterlife is taking that date of just a week later, November 19th. So hopefully we'll finally get to see that this year, since it's been, by the time it comes out, it'll be a year and a half probably since it was supposed to come out. So looking forward to that. And one more thing that I had pulled up, this is kind of in the same vein as Freeform, but this is more in our wheelhouse. Shudder has just announced they're going to have 61 days of Halloween. And since, Shudder is always kind of, it's always kind of Halloween over there, right? Like they're showing horror movies, 24/7 on their over the top channel on there. And then of course they got all the on-demand movies and everything on Shudder. But that just started yesterday, 61 days of Halloween. And that's going to go straight through October 31st. So they're going to have all kinds of Shudder originals and exclusive movies, which the first one just came out today, Superhost. That's available right now. And then next week, you've got Martyrs Lane. At the end of September, Seance. October 6th, VHS 94. October 14th, The Medium. October 28th, Horror Noir. That's a new Shudder anthology film. Original series, Slasher Flesh and Blood. New episodes every Thursday through September 16th. Creep Show Season 3 will debut September 23rd. The Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 4, October 19th. And Behind the Monsters, which I think we talked about on one of our, just in the last week or two, where they're going to kind of take a behind-the-scenes look at like horror icons like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Candyman, stuff like that. That debuts October 27th. So a lot of cool stuff lined up there. And, of course, Joe Bob's Halloween Hoedown is October 8th. That Friday night, October 8th at 9 p.m. on Shudder TV. So, and every year they do a ghoul log, instead of like the Yule log at Christmas, they do a ghoul log. So all that stuff's gonna be up on Shudder and it started already. So lots of prep and everyone getting ready for October and trying to get fall here as fast as they can, right? It seems like the pumpkin spice is flowing.
Yes, it is.
Everywhere.
Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've already had some from Starbucks already, so it's already out there. It's pumpkin spice everything. Last week I think there was 3 horror conventions around the United States or around the world, I guess. Those were the only ones that we were finding. But this week there's actually 4 horror conventions going on. One in Boston, one in East Moline, Illinois, one in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and one in Miami, Florida. The first one in Boston, and all 4 of those, I'm sorry, by the way, are this Friday through Sunday, so September 3rd to the 5th, all 4 of those. But the one in Boston is called Fan Expo Boston, and that's more of a broader kind of Comic-Con type deal. Like, they got a little bit of everything, comics, various celebrities. It's not just horror stuff. They have some horror stuff, but it's a little bit of everything there. It's probably the biggest one because they've got a lot of big name guests there. Some of the guests of interest for us would include Brendan Fraser, Michael Rooker, Robert Patrick, Ron Perlman, tons of others that are going to be there this weekend. Of course, they're going to have photo ops, autographs. There's going to be a cosplay contest, which that's pretty much a staple of these things now, right? Cosplay contests, like pretty much every single one of these is going to have a contest of some type. Of course, like we said, comic book artists. There's going to be voice actors there, from various animated projects and stuff. There's going to be panels, tons of stuff, plenty of vendors to buy your comics and other things. So that's all going on in Boston this weekend. In East Moline, Illinois, we have the Midwest Monster Fest 2021. By the way, I should mention for Fan Expo Boston, you can go to fanexpohq.com for information on tickets for that one. And for this Midwest Monster Fest, you can go to mwmonsterfest.com for ticket information and all the other things. And I should add before I continue, for pretty much all of these, there are plenty of canceled guests, for various reasons, probably COVID related, travel related, for whatever reasons. There are a number of canceled guests, so you probably need to go check these websites early and often, before you go, to make sure those particular guests you're going for are still coming. But at Midwest Monster Fest in East Moline, Illinois, guests include Linnea Quigley, Clint Howard, and Mark Price. And Mark Price, remember, was from Trick or Treat.
Yeah. Yep.
The 1986 Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Not one of the other various 100 Trick or Treats there are, but at that one, there's going to be a film festival, cosplay contest. They're going to have an FX contest, a pinup contest, photo ops, autographs, all that stuff going on there. So that's pretty cool. If you're in the East Moline, Illinois area this weekend, that's there. Another big one, New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You can go over to NewJerseyHorrorCon.com for ticket information and guest information and all that there. Guests include Billy Zane. They're going to have like a little bit of a Goonies reunion there with Carrie Green and Ki Hwai Kwan. And Tom Arnold. There's a bunch of other ones that are going to be there for this one too. So you need to go over to NewJerseyHorrorCon.com for the full list of guests on that one, because it was pretty long. But there's going to be a film festival yet again, photo ops, autographs, cosplay contest. They're even going to have a karaoke contest there. So if you're up in the Atlantic City area, you want to go check that out. And then the last one is in Miami, Florida, Sinister Nights 2021. This one was a little lighter on guests, but they had a lot of cool, like, little side events and stuff going on. The guests there include Felissa Rose, Ariel Levy, and Fred Olin Ray, who smoked. We were just talking about him recently.
Yeah.
Fred Olin Ray.
Library, the professor segment. We talked about Hollywood chainsaw hookers.
Yeah. He's going to be, ironically, he's going to be there at Sinister Nights in Miami this weekend. But all the side events and stuff are pretty cool for this one. Now, they're going to have an 80s monster prom. They're going to have a cosplay contest. They're going to have a viewing of Saturday morning cartoons. Like, literally, like, get up early on Saturday morning and you can come watch like some classic Saturday morning cartoons with everybody. They're going to have a Scream Queen Olympics, which I don't even know what that entails, but it's going to be judged by Felissa Rose. They're going to have a film festival called Sin Film Festival. And then they're going to have the Sinister Singers Karaoke. So a lot of cool events and unique events surrounding that one. So a little bit of spice from all up and down the Eastern Seaboard and out to the Midwest there for these conventions this weekend. So plenty of things for you to take a drive and go check out. Let's see the box office report from this past weekend of August 27th through the 29th. Number 10, the M. Night Shyamalan film Old, made $840,000 for a total so far in 6 weeks of $46.5 million. Number 9, The Night House, made $1.2 million. You said you went and saw that last week, right?
Yeah, we did see that. Yep. It's worth a watch. I kind of mentioned a little bit about it. It's worth seeing maybe once in the theater.
Number 8, The Protege. Number 7, The Suicide Squad. Number 5, Respect. No, I'm sorry. Number 6. Good Lord, I got my counts off. Number 7, The Suicide Squad. Number 6, Respect. Number 5, Don't Breathe 2. In its third week, made $2.8 million for a total of $24.6 million so far. Number 4, Jungle Cruise. Number 3, Paw Patrol the movie. Number 2, Free Guy. And number 1 in its debut week, Candyman, made just over $22 million to take the top spot this weekend at the box office. Did you get a chance to go see that?
Nah. Did you?
Mm-mm. No, I want to. I'm interested to see how they, because I don't think it's necessarily a full on reboot, right? I think it's more of kind of like a revival, because I think there are ties to the original with this, but
I think there is something. I mean, I've heard people describe it as a sequel of sorts.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a revival reboot sequel kind of thing, but
I know there's a link of some sort to the original.
Say what?
I know there's a link of some sort to the original.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that there was some link with Tony Todd in the original or something. So I'd like to see it for that, if for no other reason than that, just to see, how they kind of combine everything together, but kind of make something new out of it. So it'll be interesting to see. But so yeah, it had a big debut weekend, so that's good to see. New releases this week. Just today on Shudder is the movie Superhost, which I just mentioned when we were talking about the the 61 Days of Halloween or whatever lineup they have going on there. Tomorrow on Video on Demand, we have a movie called We Need to Do Something. I haven't heard anything about that, but sounds interesting. And then it doesn't look like there's any big theater releases horror-wise this weekend, but next Tuesday, September 7th, we have some video on demand and DVD releases, which I'm assuming that means Blu-ray, release as well. But just whenever we look these up, it always just says DVD. But I'm assuming these things come out on Blu-ray in various ways. But next Tuesday, we got Witches of Blackwood, another one called Slacks, and that's spelled Slaxx. So not to be confused with, what was his name, Skeezix from Trick or Treat.
Or Slap.
Yeah, Slap. Great White, and It Came From Below. So some interesting titles there to choose from next Tuesday. So I guess that's pretty much it. That's all we have here for Deadline Horror News. I couldn't find any other big interesting topics to kind of go over. So hopefully next week we can have Donnie and or Will back on the show, and you won't just be staring at our two mugs. So so for Will and Donnie, and of course Professor Smoke, I'm Josh. We are the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast, and come back next week. And then remember, every Monday at 6 p.m. East, a new episode of the podcast comes out. So check it out.
There you go.